got a gun shop up there that had looked like they had some pretty decent prices, because I'm in the process of building a retro style AR-15, like Vietnam era.
Wow.
Buildings with the like triangular handguards and
Oh yeah,
stuff
I know
like
the
that.
one you mean.
So,
Yeah, so it's more like the Aerotech.
yeah, it's a M16 triangular handguards and stuff like that designation.
Yeah, so it's more like the
But
Aerotech.
yeah, I've been putting that together from scratch, and
It's a
I
M6
just made a large purchase, like a large, by large I mean like $100 purchase over the last few days. So it allows me to buy more things for it and get more progress done, because now I have places to put things.
So I'm just doing
Sorry
an
if there's some
experiment
noise
with
there.
this. Yeah, I mean that's like an image from my childhood. Essentially the M16.
I know, right?
So it's
Yep,
it's kind
exactly.
of weird. You know, I haven't seen one of that. You only see those in sort of characters in movies having Vietnam flashbacks.
Well, what we ended up doing is during the 80s and 90s. Well, first, the U.S. Army still issues M16A1 lowers that have been retrofitted to current standards.
Yeah.
So the receivers, the uppers and lowers, have had barrels changed out, handguards changed out, stocks changed out, you know, all kinds of that stuff. But they ended up taking all of the surplus M16s that they didn't want anymore and selling them to whatever third world, you know, tin pot dictator wanted to toe the line for U.S. agenda, you know, during the 70s, 80s, and then you know, Africa, South America, Central America, you know, anywhere like that, even in the Middle East. That's where all the M16A1s went. So you see a lot of pictures of military, police, rangers, like park rangers over in Africa and stuff like that, where they have old Vietnam era, like early issue M16A1s that have been in service for that long. So they saw service in Vietnam, whatever, you know, third world conflict, you know, they were having at the time that the CIA wanted to help fund them with. And then now they've ended up in like law enforcement and you know, park ranger, military, or whomever. So because they're already in the country, in a lot of these places it's very difficult to bring firearms in, especially due to the international trade and arms agreements. So like all the ITAR stuff. So it's difficult to export any of that from the U.S. without going through the government. So a lot of these guys just make do with what they have, which is old Vietnam era shit that hasn't been changed out since then. It's all shot to shit.
Yeah, that can't be fun.
They do what they got to do.
Imagine getting like a 1960s AR, you know, M16, and you're sort of like, you get it.
Yep.
It has just been beat to shit, and you think this is already a fairly sensitive weapon. And time has aggravated the crap out of it.
Especially that era.
Like they jammed then, you know. What's it gonna do now?
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of the problems with the M16 at the time of its you know, development and whenever they were putting it into service was the fact that they weren't using the correct ammo for the twitch to the barrel that they had, and they didn't have very good quality control on the ammo. So that's what caused a lot of those problems. Is they did a few minor tweaks here or there with reliability, but a lot of it was just the ammo that they were using wasn't made for the rifle that they were shooting.
Yeah, so I mean, if that's just must have been bloody annoying, you know.
Yeah.
Imagine being in the
I
jungle.
can't even imagine.
My you know, my gun may or may not fire if I need it. That would just piss me off.
Yeah,
beyond belief.
Exactly.
I mean,
I was about to say that instills confidence, right?
Yeah. No wonder so many of them.
That makes you, you know, really want to go out to the wire.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to be out there. I want to be out there looking at this and then looking at my gun and thinking, okay. So, you know, I mean, you would carry a whole. I mean, when they did, like, I've seen sort of displays of when people have like Marines in Vietnam had to empty their pockets and their packs for other weapons, and they had all kinds of shit like knuckle dusters and axes and you know, shotguns and
Oh
stuff
yeah,
like that. It's like, yeah, because
lots of
my gun,
machete. Oh yeah, they just had all kinds of stuff. Yeah,
yeah, my gun may or may not go off if I need it to, and that
yeah.
would just piss
And you
me
know
off.
the thing. Oh yeah, and you know, imagine not only if you were in the military over in Vietnam, but you got drafted into the military, didn't want to be there, got forced into going to Vietnam, and then you get there and they hand you a gun that doesn't fucking work.
Yeah, I mean that's what happened in the
Yeah,
Falklands
that's
War.
no wonder there were fucking morale problems, right?
Yeah, I mean in the Falklands War they started issuing the SA-80, and this is before Heckler
Yeah,
and Koch got hold of it, and it was just a toy,
yeah,
and whole regiments
yeah,
refused to carry it. That's why you generally see, if you see footage, you see all the Navy ratings have got SA-80s, and they're all running around, you know, sort of all the sort of shipboard security guys when they go to battle stations and people pick up rifles. It's all SA-80s, and then all
and
the guys on the
all the
ground
Royal Marines are
have
like,
got the self-loading
yeah,
rifles and going, you can just fuck off. There's absolutely no way.
yeah, it's like the SL1, right? Is
Yeah,
that what it is, or SA1? Or, yeah, whatever they were using for the SA-80.
yeah. With the SL1 had an effective range of 600 meters and then an ineffective range of 4 miles. You know, because it's such a big fucking
Yeah,
round. It's like, you know, it's a 20-round magazine and they're big rounds.
yeah, exactly.
And they
Because
had to
those
be
were
super careful.
7.62, right?
Yeah, on barracks
Yeah,
when they were doing shooting tests, they had to be extra careful because a lot of those barracks are near towns and villages and stuff like that. So they had to build extra thick backstops and make sure nobody fired
yeah,
one at any other thing other than the backstop, because you could literally stand up, fire it, and then it wouldn't stop till it hit a couple of brick walls, like a couple of miles away. And they've actually
oh
found
yeah, yeah,
near
exactly.
Aldershot there are a couple of places like post offices with a bullet hole in the wall that was just a negligent discharge that's miles away from where it was fired. And they just couldn't,
Yeah,
and they just built a really powerful round.
yeah, exactly. And I mean, like the M1 Garand, that had an effective range of 1 mile. You know, as that was the on paper the effective range. You
Yeah,
know,
there's all sorts of crazy
that's
stories
accurate
about the
shooting.
303 as well, the Lee Enfield. You know,
Yeah,
negligent
yeah,
discharge without
exactly.
anything to stop it. I mean, it must make you extra jumpy if you're firing a 7.62 somewhere like Holland, where there just isn't anything to block it for miles and miles and miles. You know, it would be a person standing up that's the
Oh
highest
yeah,
thing for like a couple of miles around. And I know that there are barracks in Norfolk where they have to be super careful because it's so flat.
yeah,
You know, I mean, it would be fun.
yeah. I believe it.
Archaeologists of the
Yeah,
future, they're sort of digging in the sort of like they find a 303 round in the side of a highish ditch. You know,
yeah,
it's like, where's that from? There were
yeah,
no
exactly.
battles ever here. I mean, it would have been fucking chaos if we'd actually got invaded. You know,
Oh yeah,
if the Germans had like put a
again.
boot down on British soil and they'd started firing back, there'd be bullets all over the place. You'd be digging them out of allotments and gardens all the
Well,
time.
that's the way it is on the continent. You know, it's there's freaking all kinds of stuff everywhere, and because I'm a fucking dork, I end up watching these guys, metal detecting and stuff like that in old battlefields, and they end up, finding stuff from like the 16, 17, 15, 16, 1700s right next to bullet casings or rounds or shell fragments or pieces of uniform from World War II,
Yeah,
They're finding, kit that guys dropped 70 years ago right next to stuff that was dropped, 300 years. It's pretty impressive
yeah, that'd
because
be
they're finding like musket balls and stuff from other battles mixed in with shit from World War II.
yeah. I mean, it must be pretty weird if you are an archaeologist finding all that shit in one place. And then just one,
Mm-hmm.
and imagine pulling like a Bofors round, sort of big anti-aircraft round, because one's fired and it's not quite gone off, and it's come to Earth
Mm-hmm.
somewhat, especially Norfolk, because it's a prime route. I used to fly across the flat a bit to the
Yeah.
UK to get to like Coventry and places like that. and somebody's fired a Bofors round
Yeah.
and it didn't go off, and you're digging in Norfolk for English Civil War memorabilia, and your trowel suddenly taps on like a dud Bofors round that, you know, only the propellant charge has gone off in, and you just pull this 2-foot long shell out of the ground going, shit, this may or may not go off if I annoy it or swear at it or look at it funny.
Oh yeah, well in Russia and Germany and places like that, they like, especially Berlin, because it was just bombed to shit during World War II. Like we dropped an amazing amount of ordnance on Germany during World War II, with both the British and the U.S. Air Forces, technically the Army Air Corps, but at that time, same. But we ended up dropping an amazing amount of ordnance, and just as they're like doing repairs and construction and stuff on like German streets, like even in Berlin, I think they closed like the German parliament like a couple of months ago because they found 1,000-pound bomb unexploded like under the street outside of the parliament building.
Yeah, I mean, there was even a TV show.
And I know that happens in London all the time too.
Yeah, we had a whole TV show about it, a fictional TV show called Danger UXB, as in unexploded bomb. And it was just a TV show where you just had the bomb squad going around, sort of like just opening stuff up and going, oh shit, that's a really big bomb, we'll have to defuse that. And it was a drama series because it was deemed extremely lifelike at the time because so many bombs have been dropped on the UK. Loads of them didn't go off.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, and they still find like V2 parts and V1 parts. And,
I mean, it was an
unexploded this.
Yeah,
and,
it was an acceptable form of death by gardening. You know, people would go out onto their allotments and be digging around, and all of a sudden there'd be a huge boom, and old Fred would be blown to bits by an unexploded doodlebug.
Yeah,
or some shit,
yeah, exactly.
It was a theoretically likely chance of death on scrap land. I mean, my dad played on old bomb sites right up until the sort of like late 50s. Because we still hadn't built it, and you can.
Exactly.
You can look around towns in the UK, and there'll suddenly be a change in the architecture for about 100 yards, and then it will go back to old-fashioned houses again, because that's where 2 or 3 houses get taken out, and they never, you know.
Yep.
You see it all over the place. Especially
and it was an empty lot after the war, so they just built right over top of it.
Yeah. I mean, I bet in the US, if you did that kind of indiscriminate bombing, you'd be wasting most of your munitions because there's so much empty space, you know. And as soon as you get out of a city in the US, there's just like hundreds and hundreds of miles of nothing.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's what the Japanese found. I mean, they launched loads of those weird balloon attacks with firebombs and stuff like that, to the point where
and only one actually killed people, and it was like a teacher and 2 kids in Oregon that found it, and they ended up getting killed. But they were like the only American casualties from any of the Japanese trying to, like launch stuff over the U.S., get all these weird drift weapons and, fire bombs and stuff like that. And it was wildly ineffective because, like you said, there's just so much space. It's not like, I mean, Japan at the time was a lot less concentrated than it is now. But even then, it's like, they're on a teeny tiny little island. Like, the U.S. is fucking ginormous.
Yeah. And it was ingenious, though. I mean, the whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
Just sort of like, okay, we're going to make these paper balloons and attach, like, paper-wrapped munitions. It's got to be the cheapest sort of, like, aerial bombardment that's ever been launched from any country. I mean, it's almost like 17th century technology. We'll make balloons. We'll use the Gulf Stream drift to put, and they some of them got there. It's like probably the first. I mean, it's almost like an unpowered drone. Just like we'll plan the winds right.
Yeah.
And the weather.
Oh yeah, that's pretty much exactly what it's like. It's like, fire and forget. Put it on up, throw it up into the jet stream. But a lot of them ended up, crashing in the ocean, or just they crashed in the forest, created a little small fire, and that was that. Burned itself out relatively quickly. Only one landed anywhere near a populated area.
But yeah.
But it's like those are and at that time especially, it was like you said, cheap, easy, and potentially effective. All it takes is one good hit of one of those, and wood frame construction. You get older style town, with wood frame construction, and you could really do some damage if it ended up getting a lucky shot, but they just never got lucky with it.
Yeah.
But it cost them next to nothing. So what do you have to lose?
Yeah. It's a pretty creative way of doing it.
What are we on about today?
The Japanese, those balloons that the Japanese were sending up during World War II, firebombing, where they sent them up from Japan and into the Gulf Stream, and they were like cheap, made out of paper, and they were using them to like firebomb the west coast of the U.S.
They got on the west coast. They
did. They ended up killing. They ended up killing a teacher and some kids from a elementary school class. Those were the only casualties of the Japanese firebombing campaign.
Not true. They killed a cow in Rockford, Michigan.
All right,
Angel,
a couple
headphones.
Teacher and a cow.
Iron Angel, have you got headphones on?
It's not me. That would be Iron Angel that you're getting the feedback from.
Yeah, I think I am.
Yes, I'm wearing headphones.
Get an echo now. Oh no, that seems to have sorted it. It could have just been on the screen.
Yeah, for now. I mean, it'll be. I think it's Iron Angel's speakers getting picked up by the the mic.
My dad does that all the time on Skype.
Yeah, it happens.
Headphones.
All right, now comes the most fun part of my drive. I get to sit in fucking traffic.
Yeah, the downside of sitting in traffic when you're commuting is that you're not getting paid. It's just like,
yeah, that's the truth. Unfortunately, I'm not getting paid for going to the training either, but I still have to do it. So it is what it is.
Yeah, but yeah, at least you're learning something relevant.
Let's see if this setting is any better.
Definitely could be worse.
Feedback.
It could be worse.
Yeah.
Oh man, the best thing that I've ever bought, one of the best pieces of gear, is a remote start for my car for the winter. Oh, tell you what, after living in the Midwest for 11 years now and not having one for 10 of those years, being able to start my car 20 minutes before I go out to it and run the defroster, holy crap, makes my day so much better. Because if there's one thing that I absolutely have this strange, undying hatred for, it's going out and scraping ice off of my car.
Oh, come on, that's half the fun.
Oh, God. That sound of the scraper over the glass just, makes my teeth hurt. It just, I don't know why, but it just gives me the shivers every single time. It just makes my teeth hurt.
And especially whenever you wiper.
What's that?
When you're scraping, try not to fuck up your wiper either.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, man, freaking remote start for my car. One of the best pieces of kit. Plus, it's super nice just from a, as a preparedness perspective, too, because the headlights turn on as soon as I turn the car on with the remote start. So, if I want to scare somebody, something like that, if somebody's messing with the car, I can throw on the remote start real quick, and it'll turn the headlights on, turn the engine on. It's a nice way to potentially mess with somebody, or if something happens, I'm able to start my car before I even get into it, so I can get GTFO even faster. But mostly it's for the winter because I hate scraping my fucking car. And of course we have a underground parking spot, one underground parking spot, but the girlfriend gets to park there, so I get to park out in the parking lot.
That's wise.
Mm-hmm.
See, I discovered something on Amazon I should not have, but it's $20, so I will. A 4-channel remote that you can wire. It basically just wires into relays, so whatever you want comes on.
Nice.
Yeah, and Angela, you
So
wearing
I'm going to
headphones?
actually wire up. No, this is my phone.
Oh, right. That's why we're getting feedback.
So what I'm going to do is wire up the work lights on a remote so I can turn them on from, you know, a couple 100 feet out.
Nice. There you go. That's nice. Yeah, truthfully, I've been surprised by the range of this remote for my remote starter. It has a range of almost like a half mile sometimes. I can go pretty darn far and still be able to get it to turn on.
Line of sight only, though, right?
Line of no, well, roughly line of sight. But yeah, I can start it from inside buildings and stuff. No problem.
Shit.
Yeah, it's pretty powerful actually, but yeah, it's a pretty decent one. Definitely.
Let me swap over and see if I can get my headphones to work with the browser version here.
Yeah, go for it.
Now we're getting more and more people in the stream. Paonia. With the microphone muted. Really need to know whether Kev's how. Okay, so Kevin, when you hear this, me clicking my fingers, tell me how long the delay is. So I'm clicking my fingers now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's probably not even listening. Oh well. I was just wondering what the delay to the live stream is. I mean, this thing is live, but it's dropping frames like you wouldn't believe. It's saying it's not receiving any video, but I'm feeding video into it. Much as I don't like using my webcam. I mean, OBS says everything's reasonably good. Yeah, it's just I'm just trying to work out. I mean, it's quite good for doing stuff and recording things directly into a webcam, but it's dropping frames like you wouldn't believe. So I don't know if it's stuttering or it's even working. You know, basically, you know. So let's try Kev at P. How's the stream? Because this is more complicated than it needs to be. To be honest.
Yeah, I believe that.
Feeding Discord through OBS back out to YouTube. And it's complaining. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, let me kill that. Let's kill a few things. Give my computer less to do. See if that improves things at all. Yeah, so that should be it. And I don't even know whether the videos... It's not coming up on the screen on YouTube. So that's interesting.
Yeah, I wasn't. Whenever I clicked on the live stream earlier, whenever the notification popped up, all that I could see was black. I didn't see any video being.
Yeah, I've only just switched on the video because the YouTube thing was saying it wasn't receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming, and it hasn't picked up on the video. And I'm just getting a blank screen. So I've really no idea. And Kev is giving me, you know, a lack of information. I mean, this is, you know. Use your words. Use your words. Not it's the response. How's the stream? It's very real, player. Well, thanks very much. Do you wanna expand on that? Is there good sound? Is there any video? Is there anything, Kevin? Please.
I don't know. No, I think real player probably sums it up nicely. I think.
Yeah, but that doesn't.
I think that's actually a pretty good descriptor.
It doesn't say The video is choppy. The sound is choppy. It's not coming through properly. This is what we're actually after. It's like, not, oh, it's okay. Well, that doesn't fucking help. You know, that's the sort of response that you think, I hope you're somewhere where you need rescue. Where are you? We're ready. The chop is in the air. Where are you? What can you see? Trees. Well, great. Thank you very much. You're going to fucking die.
Oh, there we go. Right, that's working now.
There we go. Hey, Kev.
So if you're looking so what does it actually look like, Kev? Go on.
Well, it looks like a potato with the buffering symbol.
Yep.
Okay.
I believe that.
But can you hear? Does it sound clear? Because that's really the only thing I'm really that interested in.
Can you re-say that? That was very, very stuttery.
So
I don't know.
Answer given.
Answer was no.
I don't know if it's someone's connection because Misanthropic, you're sounding fine to me.
Right.
Okay, cool. Which is good because I'm in my car on like my cheapy Bluetooth headset, driving through traffic. So
that sounds like a phone call, so it could be worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's about what you're getting is phone call quality. So
how does my audio sound?
Yours sound pretty good. You're a little choppy every once in a while.
Yeah, it's probably because it's on voice activation more than anything else.
Yeah.
I've got a feeling it's your net connection, V.
Probably. It is pretty crap. It's not the fastest internet connection in the world. Is it intelligible, though? Can you understand what I'm saying?
For the most part, yes. Unless it goes all Skype.
Right, fair enough.
Which it does. It goes slightly Skype-ish from time to time.
Right.
Yep. Exactly. That's an excellent descriptor.
Right, so that's cool. Those things are on.
Occasionally, we got a little bit of Skype-ish, and then the video, all real player.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
So how about I take out the video capture, because it's going to complain whatever I do. And that should improve the audio quality. If it's got less to transmit, it should get better.
Mm-hmm.
So,
just out of interest, how's my voice coming across?
Yeah, you're coming across fine.
Good. Fine. No problem.
Happy days.
It's just more how that gets out.
Because I'm stealing Peonia's microphone, the blue snowball.
There you go. Yeah, that sounds pretty good.
It's quite a good microphone.
Yeah, I've had pretty good quality. I mean, I've recorded all the newsreel stuff on the Blue Snowflake, which is an older, cheaper, smaller model.
Right.
But, you cut out some of the background noise, and you can really get some pretty decent audio quality out of it. So, And the Snowball is even better. So,
yeah. Well, this one's 30 quid off eBay, so bonus.
Yeah.
Considering that the Blue Yetis go for at least 160 on eBay.
Which is amazing, because they've been selling those fucking things for years.
Mm-hmm.
You'd think there'd be some sort of like, as they'd been around for longer, the price would drop a little bit. But no, they've stayed pretty consistent for at least the last 5 or 6 years.
You've just got to remember what the market is for those things. Who buys them? It's
all the ASM artists. That's what it is.
Well, no, it's college students that also own MacBooks. It's the college student that demands that their parents buy them a MacBook Pro to go to university with, who then buy the most expensive microphone known to man. Or the most expensive microphone. You can walk into a shop and just go, I'm a media studies student, I need X. And it's like, you are... If as the Bible says...
For that price, you could buy a mid-range Shure microphone with an XLR connector. You could buy a mixing board, and you could, have a pretty decent audio setup. But instead, you just buy this thing.
Yeah, that's essentially what it is. It's just like the sort of like, oh, I'm going to university to study media, so I need £3,000 worth of equipment, which will automatically make what I make brilliant, which it doesn't.
Absolutely.
It's just like, it doesn't matter.
I don't need to learn anything. I have all the best equipment.
Yeah.
Yeah, See, I don't know. That's part of the reason why I tend to not buy super nice high end stuff. You know, like occasionally I'll get something that's pretty decent, but a lot of my gear is just clutched together budget bargain stuff because I'm trying to learn the skills, and 99.9% of the time I'm more stymied and bottlenecked by my skills than I am by my technology, even with the cheap shit.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, just if the harder it is to put the thing together, the more you're going to learn, just by default.
Yeah, exactly. But there's a limit where it's like, this is too difficult. I need to upgrade my gear. But if you know where that limit is for yourself, then you're able to play within those limits, and you can actually learn your gear and learn how to do stuff instead of just, I need to buy the best product. I mean, like you said, like the Mac problem.
Being attacked again.
Well, you also own an X230, so it's not all bad.
That's true. I'm actually thinking about sticking Arch on it.
There you go.
And there we go, hampering yourself unintentionally again. It's like life is too easy. I think I'll try Arch Linux. It's like, no.
Arch isn't that bad. At least it's not Gen 2.
Yeah, it's just that I actually want to do stuff.
Oh man.
I've been a computer owner where the major hurdle was the computer I owned. I did that back in the early 80s. Been there, done that. Used a ZX81. No, I've got things to do. As Douglas Adams once said, a nerd is someone who uses a telephone to talk to other people about the difficulties of using telephones. It's like, no, I'm making things. I want the easiest version of Linux. I want the freest software. I want the most bang for buck I can get. It's like I haven't even put 90 quid into my newest laptop. And that's an 8 gigabyte X220 with a docking station. And it works fine.
Yeah.
Yep. Go do that. It's.
Yeah, I mean, right now I'm running on an old, like 2011 era Dell box computer that I got for free that has a quad core processor, but it's older 2011 era. But I have a way overpowered graphics card in it, a bunch of RAM that I bought. I think I've put like $60 into the thing since I got it, and a whole bunch of stuff for free. I think most of that was RAM I ended up buying, but I'm able to do pretty much everything that I need to do right now off of a mostly free computer. I got a monitor for free. I already had another monitor sitting around because I haven't had a desktop computer in quite a while. I was actually using old broken laptops as desktops because the screen had broken or whatever, So I was doing that for years. But, I finally ended up coming across this free computer, and I'm like, yeah, I can work with this. So then I ended up being able to get a bunch of free upgrades and stuff from friends, people like that. So I have a way overpowered NVIDIA graphics card in it with a 2011 era quad core processor. And I'm able to run pretty much anything that I need to. There's only like some higher end games from the last 2 or 3 years that I can't run.
Yeah, I'm kind of tempted to do a graphics card upgrade on my I've got a Lenovo ThinkCentre, which is an old desktop machine, but it's a very shallow form factor. But you can get these right angle connectors for graphics cards. So I was going to get like a cheap
nice
GeForce card. I mean, all I want to do is play Fallout 4. That's my only motivation to put in a graphics card in it, because of the whole base building thing. I really want to just do that, and that's the only thing I've found recently out of all the games I could be playing. And you can get these graphics cards for about 20 quid, and the right angle connector for a £5. So I'll still have only put about 150 quid into the ThinkCentre.
Yeah. Yeah, see, I'm unfortunately probably going to be upgrading to a much nicer soon, specifically because I want to play Cyberpunk 2077 whenever it comes out. So,
Yeah, that does.
at some point, whenever that comes through, yeah, at some point when that comes through, I might be dropping quite a bit of money on upgrading my hardware because I'm like, all right, this one I might have to play. This isn't one where I'm like, oh, I'll play it in 4 or 5 years. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
I gotta play this one.
I mean, if it is good, it's going to be the ultimate WOG game.
Yeah.
You know, there's no.
I'm still waiting for Half-Life 3.
Yeah.
Don't hold your breath.
Yeah, just saying that's pushed it back another year.
Yeah, exactly. It's now $29.99 that it's back to now.
Yeah, see, I don't understand why we haven't yet got some kind of virtual reality headset that figures out when you've moved your head. You know, just like a HUD. You know, just that sort of you still using the mouse and keyboard to move forward and stuff like that and navigate your heads-up display. But when you move your head, you see what you would get if you did a mouse move. If you know what I mean. So that you were looking around and you would be immersed in it. But that shit shouldn't cost a lot of money. When it's literally like a gyroscope sensor and a video screen.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know, I don't mind not getting the sort of like walking around sensation, but it'd be nice to be able to just look around like a normal, like it follows your head movements. You know, how hard can that be?
I think a lot of it has to do with the sensitivity.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, when you use Google Sky
that
on an
would be my
Android
guess.
phone, that knows when you're moving the phone and where it's pointing and what angle it's at. And that's an old school Android phone can do that. So why haven't we got like a head-up display that map, or it just, you know, that I mean, it'd only have to be the sort of screen size of a phone with a pair of goggles, an accelerometer that knew when you tilted or turned your head, and you're done. And that would make it super immersive in one of those sort of like, you know, big sandbox games.
Yeah.
And there's no way it can cost a lot of money. The little LCD screens are cheap as anything. And you wouldn't even have to have goggles as such, just a box to hold it at the right distance so you can focus on it against your head. And then you use the arrow keys on your keyboard because you can use those by feel. And then a mouse to move a cursor on the screen that's on your head. You know, I don't get why that isn't a thing. Why that isn't like a 50 quid upgrade, you know, like a $60 upgrade to your AAA game. Just plug that in with USB to give it power. You know, and a video signal. Like, why? You know, that, you know, I'm not after much. Just have that and have it work.
That was a nice little tone.
No, it's got to be Mac. That's a Mac sound.
You're not completely wrong.
Yeah.
It was my phone.
You're turning me into a Mac bigot.
It's telling me to start raining.
It's like the point I was making about drones. A DJI Phantom is a Macintosh drone. It just does this one thing.
Yeah,
really well.
yeah, that's exactly, yeah.
No
That's
skill
exactly
in
what it
order
is.
to operate it. There's no learning curve. You just move it around with probably your iPhone, and it does it. Whereas an actual racing drone is literally the Arch Linux of drones.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like
doing everything in the hardest way possible.
Oh yeah, because the people that have been doing it for the last 5 years have no experience of being a noob. You see all these drone channels where people are just going, and then you just put it, you know, tune it all up and you plug it into your computer and you program the thing, and then you're in the air doing all kinds of crazy shit. Let's not talk about the learning curve and the fact that essentially you've got a plastic bladed chainsaw flying through the air, and you've got to find somewhere where people aren't in England, which is nearly impossible, in order to fly it remotely safely. And safely is in the safe for other people, not for you. I mean, the things are wildly unpredictable. It's scary as fuck flying a drone. I totally intend to get Kevin when he's next down here. You know, if you all think it's like that easy to fly one of these fucking things, I'm going to put it in the hands of Kevin and just go, right, this may cost me 100 quid, because he may well crash the fucking thing straight away. You know, it may well tear up all the motors and stuff like that, but I'm going to have him fly it. So I've got like somebody that goes, "Oh shit, these
That
things
or
are
you're gonna
hard."
die.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm wearing protective headgear when you get that thing. You know, I'm going to go ahead and get myself some goggles and like one of those ex-army helmets and put that on my head and go, "There you go, Kev."
I want to hide in the van.
All right, give me 1 minute here. I'm gonna mute myself. I'm going to go buy some Corpo coffee. So
Oh God.
I'm gonna go sell out to the man so I can get some caffeine.
Starbucks.
Unfortunately. All right. Hold on.
Have you seen, Kev? You have seen Generation Kill, haven't you?
Yes.
You know that bit where they're
Several
outside
times.
Baghdad and Rudy's making coffee in the mocha pot, and Ray just goes,
Yeah.
"You know what? I thought we'd be invading a country, but that's not true. We're just here to set up a forward Starbucks."
Yeah, that's it exactly.
You know, it's just like, yeah. I think my new work bag.
There's not enough caffeine in the world for this.
I think my new work bag is going to contain some means of brewing coffee on the fly, just so I can set up something. So I might have to buy another mocha pot.
I thought you didn't like mocha pots because they have a tendency to explode.
They do. Either that or a small cafetiere that's like my big cafetiere.
I actually saw something on YouTube yesterday. It's that's basically like a pour over coffee thing, but it's got a little sort of sieve sort of thing that goes on top of it. It's a Vietnamese coffee strainer thing.
All right, that might be an
called.
option. Just
So it's kind of like an AeroPress. Actually, you could just get an AeroPress. That would do the job.
Too bulky. Too easy to kill. Ah, here we are. Nice.
AeroPresses are actually quite hard to kill. It's heavy duty plastic.
Oh, I think I might have found it.
You just get
Von Chef make one. How big is it? What's the dimensions? Tell me how big it is. Where?
How much coffee can you get through it in one go?
Oh, here we are. Von Chef make one. 7 by 13 centimeters. So that's
7 by 30. That's quite hefty.
Yeah, stainless steel. Because I've already got a Von Chef style one. Essentially, you know, my big stainless steel go anywhere, drop it off a mountain cafetiere is a Von Chef one, and they make a 3 espresso cup one. I'm totally tempted to put that in my fucking work bag, along with a meths burner and an aluminium pot, and then store other gear in the aluminium pot and the coffee and the whitener and stuff in the inside the cafetiere itself. And they go, "Yep, that's how we do it." That's how
you could get yourself an Alp-Kit brew kit. That would do the job. That'll be your brew anywhere.
There's only one downside to the Alp-Kit brew kit.
What's that?
The Alp-Kit unofficial motto: "Buy glampers for glampers."
Well, yeah, okay, fair enough.
It's just
at least it's not a jet boil.
Yeah, I mean, that's for, you know, people that don't know about fire. That's what jet boils are. You know, it would be so easy to make, to have a pot with a packet, like half a packet of coffee in a good Ziploc bag, and whitener and sugar and a teaspoon, and then a reasonably decent steel mug, hopefully one that was just big enough to go round the outside of the cafetiere itself, so that's not taking up any space. Then next to it a water bottle and stuff like that. So for your forward Starbucks, you can get a really teeny tiny 1 cup at a time cafetiere. Because it says 3 cups, but they're lying bastards. That's a cup.
Yeah.
5 by 3. It's like
that's
10.
A cup. That's like a literal espresso cup.
Yeah, like 10
like
sizes.
a dribble of coffee.
Divide any number of people that can fit in a tent by 3, and that's a person and their gear.
Yeah.
Or, you know, a 3-man tent is you pay on your and your gear. That's a 3-person tent. But for anybody bigger than that, it's just like divide by 3. That's a 1 cup cafetiere, but it's you know, heavy duty double walled stainless steel. That totally works.
Which is virtually unkillable.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, it weighs a little bit, but it's only 16 quid. I mean, you'd only have to make like 5 cups of coffee before it paid for itself.
5 cups of coffee. Christ, coffee at the uni, well, that's £3. No, that's actually about right.
So that looks like an investment. Just a baby one of those. And the smaller one gives you that super advantage where you can be a proper selfish bastard. It's like, I would make you a cup of coffee, but it only makes 1 cup of coffee. That's all it does. Yeah, I didn't know they made small ones of it. Because that's, you know, a cafetiere is basically in the field. That's what easily good enough. And they're just totally unkillable. Because those, I mean, I've already got a cafe press mug. I suppose I could just take that. You know, but you still get bits in your coffee. You still have to leave it for a little while.
I have to say, I'm a fan of my AeroPress. I like that.
Yeah, but it's a bit bulky, if you know what I mean.
No, it's really not bulky at all.
Okay, let's have a look at the dimensions of the AeroPress. Let's consult the gods.
Let me see if I can find the information on it on Amazon.
Yeah,
13 by 13 by 28.
Yeah, so it's bigger. So it's about twice the size for an AeroPress kit as to one of those little stainless steel cafetières. Yeah, I'm still on the cafetiere side.
Fair enough.
Because I bet, you know, I've got a neat little skillet somewhere, so I can set off the mess burner, put the little frame over the top, put you know, just like a mug of boiling water. Probably if you've got a big enough titanium mug, you can use that as the coffee mug that you're going to drink the coffee out of as well. So you pour the boiling water into the cafetiere, empty out the excess into something else, or you just throw it away. Or if you're really smart, you just put a scratch mark for the amount of water you're going to need for your cup of coffee on the inside. Just pour it in up to that, boil it on the meths burner. Because the titanium handles, I've you know, my friend Dean, he's just bought one of those what is it, Yushu or Yoshun or whatever, the company that's making super cheap titanium mug sets. And
sorry about that.
Yeah, you've had to go and do your caffeine capitulation.
See, if you wanted to go proper, full-on, forward-operating Starbucks, you would roast the coffee beans on site. Yep. Might be a bit much.
Well, at that point, you're pretty much in the territory where you're making your own beard oil from tree sap.
Yeah, that's true.
You seem to have lost all voice. I can see you talking to me, but I seem to be
right, you walked
out of the game. Hold on.
Well, you're coming through loud and clear.
Let's see.
Yeah, let's have a look at what thing he's doing. Yeah, that sounds okay. Still streaming to YouTube. Let's just check YouTube. Still streaming, apparently.
Yay!
Kev, can you type something into the chat on that stream? One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hasn't come up.
I'm in a somewhat literal mood.
Hasn't come up in the chat.
I think it's a touch delayed.
Yeah, a little bit. It's like 20 seconds or so now. 20 seconds. But mine seems to go.
Okay, let's see if this is going to work.
I'm not getting nothing.
Okay, so 10 seconds behind.
I'm not seeing it yet. Got nothing.
Well, you've turned off the video capture, haven't you?
Yeah.
So I'm getting a black screen.
You should get a black screen. I can add video capture.
You know, all I get is a black screen and the buffering symbol. And then my voice 10 seconds later.
Yeah. Let me see. There you go. I've uncoupled the video camera on my really terrible onboard video. So you, in a few minutes. But I'm not seeing anything.
There we go.
No,
Now I'm back.
I'm not seeing anything in the chat window. Nothing. 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 There we go. Nothing. 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 But I'm not seeing you. Have you typed something into the chat?
Yeah. Wait, which chat? The Discord or YouTube?
YouTube. Why would
Oh,
I care?
right.
Why would
Okay.
I care about Discord?
I don't know. I've not had enough caffeine for this.
Yeah. No caffeine.
Right.
You might as well just go for straight adrenaline straight into the heart.
Hey, I can do that.
Yeah. We're qualified people in the stream. So yeah, it is very juddery. We're getting some serious savage dropped frames from my camera.
Assholes.
Type into the YouTube chat. It's staggering along. We'll probably only really know about it when we stop the stream and we have a look at how long it takes to go live. There we go.
Fuck off, YouTube.
Yeah. See. Now type in the word giraffe.
Type in what?
Giraffe.
Giraffe.
Yeah. Just.
Is that V's safe word?
Yeah. Giraffe.
Stoichiometry.
Yeah, it was just because if he's typing stuff in while I'm talking, I can't tell what the delay is. But if I say giraffe and then he immediately types in giraffe, I can actually see what the delay is. It was just the first word I thought of. That probably says a lot of terrible things about me.
So I am still unable to decipher the Starbucks sizing. And the thing that fucked me up, they don't list like the conversion chart anymore. They just like they don't even say their different stupid sizes, like their their grande or whatever. Like they don't list what they are anymore. They just assume that you know. So it's like I went in and I'm like I still don't know. They don't go to Starbucks that often, but I was driving past and I'm going to the firehouse, so I have to at least get some sort of coffee on board because I rolled out of bed and was out the door in 20 minutes, so I didn't have a chance to make a cup of coffee. But I ended up, going in and like having to like try and decipher. I ended up just telling the lady, "Give me a large," which is what I tend to try and do to try and break their corpo speak. As I kind of refused to play along, but I still don't know it. So I was like trying to look for like a conversion chart. Like, all right, what the hell do these sizes mean in like real people speak?
Yeah.
Like, what the hell is? I'm like, I don't know. Just give me a large, whatever the hell the large one is. The biggest one you have, that's the one I want.
Yeah, I want a coffee so large it's almost medically inadvisable to give it to me. That's how much coffee I want.
Exactly.
20-ounce cup filled with espresso.
Yes, exactly.
I want to be
so dark that you put the spoon in and the spoon disappears.
Yeah, I want to be coffee.
I ended up getting some pretentious. Yeah, I ended up getting some pretentious juniper latte already.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know. I decided to give that a try.
See, that's how they get you.
Sounds like pumpkin spice bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Well, our really sophisticated companies,
terrible.
Our really sophisticated customers want this, and it's like, no. Imagine I've been defrosted after 100 years in northern Alaska. I just want big coffee. What would you give to someone like that if they were holding an axe and they said coffee? Where you weren't to mess with them.
That's what you should give me.
Yeah. But it's
just give you the roasted beans. Chew on there.
Yeah.
Just give me the cup.
Yeah. But it's a bit like trying to get the real name of someone at Disney World. They're not allowed to break out of corporate character. It's just like, oh. When I was working at a cafe and it was just opening up and we were writing the menus, and I just said, can't we just put like normal coffee? Like literally put the word normal in front of it. Normal coffee. Small, this amount. Large, this amount. Just that. And I tell you, people will appreciate it. People will sit on the menu and go, oh, Christ, I'm in the right place. And they did, and people really appreciated it.
Yeah.
Just normal coffee. We take
Yeah, I
beans,
believe it.
we grind them into a powder, we pour astonishingly hot water over it, and we give you the juice. That's it. That's what we do. And then you can decide whether you want to add anything else. We just won't fuck around with it.
It's like that bloody greasy spoon in Surrey Bridge.
Yeah,
It's like strong coffee is coffee.
Yeah,
like,
but that was instant
what the
coffee.
fuck's a strong coffee? Coffee's coffee.
Have you guys been to the cafe that I normally go to in where I am now? Did I take you down to the good cafe?
What, the one staffed by the Polish lassies?
That's it, yeah.
Yeah.
They do normal coffee. They've got a coffee machine. You just say large Americano and they give you that thing. And it's just like, okay, why it even needs to be called Americano? Probably because Italian people would go, oh, what are you doing with the coffee? Well, we've been making coffee like this for about 200 years. We pour the hot water over the ground up beans that are hard to get, and then we drink the juice. That's it. That's all we do to it. We don't fuck around with it. We don't annoy it. We don't try and make it pretty. We don't put froth cream on it. We just give that to you, and then you wake up. You know, that's all I want. And it's just, if I could just not have to call it Americano, I consider calling it an Americano a hassle and a hurdle I got to jump through to call it what they want to call it. You know, it's just like coffee. I will add the other shit. I don't want you to do it because you'll fuck it up. I know how I like my coffee. It's an individual thing. It's why I never order oatmeal anywhere. I know how to make oatmeal for me, and I don't trust anybody else to do it. Why?
Yeah, oatmeal. Oh God, everybody always fucks up oatmeal. It's always terrible.
I actually can make it, and whenever I can be bothered to make it for other people, they go, why doesn't all oatmeal taste like this? It's like, no, it's like a weight in the you basically add the right amount of water and milk to the oatmeal. You bring it to the simmer. You watch it like a hawk. You stir it, and then it basically gets to a certain gravitational weight in the spoon, and then you immediately take it off the hob and serve it. And you've got to eat it immediately. And that's what people don't get about oatmeal.
No letting it sit.
No, because it will fuck it up. Because the oatmeal is still cooking when you're eating it. It should be almost too hot to eat. You know, that's one of the ways it makes you forget about cold weather. Okay, because you're suffering from internal burns at the time you're stepping out into the cold. You've got other things on your mind other than the weather. That's how oatmeal works.
Yes, exactly.
And if you can get it, that really thick, super dark brown molasses type sugar, the super dark muscovado sugar, whatever it is, the stuff that looks like treacle without any ambition, like it's only just slower than a liquid as you pour it off the spoon. You know, like it's thinking of becoming a liquid. It's like almost black, and you just sprinkle that across the top, or put bananas and a bit of brown sugar across the top, and that's it. No more fucking around with it.
Any thicker and it'll be used as tar on the roads.
I mean, I know I could open up a shop that did only oatmeal, and I could sell it, but I would have to be such a prima donna about cooking the oatmeal. It would be like being one of those sushi masters in Japan. Like the only place I could get away with being such a prima donna about cooking oatmeal is in Japan. The Japanese would totally understand. And I would have to wear a special headband, you know, with, you know, Japanese characters for Oatmeal Master. And people would come and I would say, right, okay. And I would train people. There would be all these sort of like trainee oatmeal masters who would have to work for me for like decades before they were allowed to open their own oatmeal shop. It's like,
V, I think you've got a new job prospect. I think you should do this.
Imagine getting a Japanese...
Go on, Dragon's Den. I do, yeah.
Imagine going to the Japanese immigration thing as I can really make oatmeal. And they go, what do you mean? Well, you know, like you have sushi masters, I can make oatmeal that well. And then me making, you know, my interview with the Japanese immigration agent would be me making oatmeal for them. And it being rubber stamped 5 seconds later.
Hold on. I got everything here with me. Do you have a kettle? All right, perfect.
I promise you, it's worth it. Seriously, every girlfriend I've ever had, when they've stayed over and I've woken up, what do you want for breakfast? Oatmeal. Can I help? No. But you could show me how to make it. No, I can't. It's decades of learning. Like, there used to be 2 people on planet Earth that could make oatmeal like I like it, and one of them's now dead. So I'm the only person on earth that can make oatmeal like me. I'm not joking. Kevin, seriously, the next time you two come down, I will make you oatmeal, and then you'll believe me.
Okay.
It's
I'll have
unbelievable.
a go at that.
It's I couldn't even begin. It's
I expect an oatmeal update, Kev.
you know, like that bloke that can do echolocation by clicking. He's totally blind and he rides a bicycle around and he can just ride it and nobody knows, and he doesn't even know how he does it. It's like that. I'm just
You're like an oatmeal savant.
Yeah, it's that's why I don't talk about it much, because I come across like a crazy person when I talk about it. It is like, seriously, you know, just the only way I can demonstrate it is by cooking. I may have to do like a video of it with a disclaimer like, this will not teach you how to make oatmeal. The crucial thing is the weight of the spoon in the saucepan.
It's just like what Iron Angel and I were talking about earlier, or last night. We were talking about how you have an electrician or a plumber or a mechanic or somebody in, a skilled trade, and they come and they do something and they do it real well, and it takes, it doesn't take that much time. It doesn't, it's not super duper complicated, but you're not paying for those things. You're not paying for the time. You're not paying for the materials. You're paying for the years and years worth of knowledge to be able to make it take 20 minutes and use the least amount of materials possible to get the job done in the correct manner. Yeah. It's that time that you have built up that's like seasoned you to be able to do the skill in that perfect manner. And people go, why is it so expensive? And it's like, it's because I've spent 20 years learning this skill.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Don't ask me about all the times.
It's like that guy asking for an itemized breakdown of something, like $2,000, how to do it. So a guy wants it broken down.
Yeah.
It's like £20 for the part, and then £1,980 knowing where to put it.
Yeah. It's exactly that. The Japanese get that though.
Yep.
It's hard to explain. But yeah, it's very much analogous to that. Tell me, before I can tell you about the times I got it right, let me first tell you about all the times I got it wrong. How many interesting electrical burns I've got. How many times I've fallen off the fucking ladder. How many times I've pulled a dead rat out of an electrical box.
How many times you've accidentally taken power out to the whole neighborhood.
Yeah. You're paying,
exactly.
You're paying for me not to do it like I did do it for the first 5 years I was doing this.
All right, guys. Well, I am at my destination and I should start heading in. I will catch you later.
Okay, dude.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, have a good one.
You too.
Bye.
There's about a 3-minute delay in the video, which is interesting.
Yeah.
But it does work.
That's weird. Yeah.
Sort of. But the important thing, we could do this as a Google Hangout, but whenever we do a Google Hangout, there's always 20 minutes of people getting their shit together. Whereas in Discord, they've just got to click on the tribe thing.
Yeah.
And as long as they've got headphones and a microphone, then they're in. And I'll listen to the stream back later, and I'll hear where it's choppy or whatever. But yeah.
You could always just have OBS dump the footage to the drive and upload it later.
Yeah, I think that'll be better. Yeah.
And you've gone dead again.
No,
there you go.
I just wasn't saying anything.
All right, fair enough. I can't tell.
Yeah, I know the feeling. When it goes that weird quiet and you think, oh, have they been cut off? That's years of using Skype.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I've finally got all my electronic wants more or less sorted out. So I'm now looking at keyboards and going, I'd like a nice keyboard. But I found out, because I have turned into, like your Apple fanboys, I've turned into a Lenovo fanboy. And I've been looking at the Lenovo keyboards and looking at the reviews, and they're not, like IBM Model M keyboards. They're not the clacky keyboards. But I've seen a few reviews where people go, yeah, it's a good workhorse keyboard. But they're now down to like 11 quid for their super duper, all the extra buttons keyboard for Lenovo desktops.
All right.
With a couple of USB ports on it. It's got its own little USB hub. And I'm just like, well, that's what I want,
That's handy. That is very handy.
2 USB ports on it, and it's got like like a little area with all the media playback buttons, where it just does media playback, and usually those work really well with VLC.
Mm-hmm.
And at 1150 for a decent keyboard, I'm just thinking I might well get two, because I've got two offices now. I've got the studio office with a Think Center in it and two monitors, and downstairs I've got like a docking bay with the X230 in it and a 22-inch monitor, and that's all set up with a microphone and headphones. And the one upstairs has got a microphone and headphones as well. So it's just like done, I can work in the lounge, because the lounge is where I come after work. So I usually plonk myself down, fire everything up, and it's just like ready to go. So if somebody does want to chat, it's all already wired in. All I've got to do is plug the headphones into the little speakers that I've got on the desk, and you're done. But I
think I found that keyboard.
Yes. Is it the one
That
with
one.
the extra media ones in it? Let's have a look. Yeah, that's it. The SK8815.
Yeah.
That just looks like a decent keyboard.
See, I could do with it without having all the extra buttons on it, to be honest with you.
Well, they do one. Just look up Lenovo keyboard. They do a standard Pro keyboard.
Yeah.
But it's also it's also got the two USB ports on it, without all that media shit on it.
Yeah.
And it's just like, well done, That's
true.
One of the reviewers on YouTube said it's that tough you could probably use it as a weapon in the event of a zombie apocalypse, and it's like, that's what I want out of the keyboard.
Yeah.
That's just all I want. I'm not after much. Fine. I just want a keyboard. I just don't want this piece of shit. I've got like the cheapest the keyboard I'm using right now is the cheapest one Logitech have ever made.
Mm-hmm.
Right, it's flimsy. The bend on it's got to be about 30 degrees. It's got no sort of tilt to it. It's got spindly little sort of like legs to hold it up, and it's just like, no, I don't want this. This is the sort of keyboard you get with like a gateway PC circa 2001 when you're trying to save a few. It's horrible. But I think something like that, because it's basically got the 220 keyboard on it. It's that style of keys. That's just that's what I want. That sort of high, big square keys, office keyboard type thing. And it just and I kind of want the media keys and shit like that on it. I don't mind giving up the real estate. But just a proper old-fashioned. I mean, it's basically the same layout as an M series keyboard, but it is a membrane keyboard. It's not anything super duper good. And I'm really tempted to get the Lenovo mouse as well, because that's just a, hard to kill mouse. That's all I want. Instead I'm using like a piece of crap. I think this is a Dell mouse or an HP mouse. It's horrible. Because when I bought the Think Center, I had to dicker about with them to get the Lenovo monitor with it. But they were only giving out generic keyboards, and it was just like, oh, this is poo. By the way, it's worth checking out Cash Generators if you want another monitor, because they're selling 19-inch monitors for like £8.
Yeah.
Yeah, just get yourself to a Cash Converters, because they've got thousands of them.
I might actually do that.
Just a standard. It's got nothing on it. It's just literally got VGA or DVI connectors on it, but you can get them for dead cheap at the moment. It so happens that a friend of mine is getting rid of another 22-inch monitor. Because I said, yes, I want it. Because it's just like, yeah. I mean, I was going to buy one of the 19-inch monitors for £8, because it's just like, you never know when you're going to need a replacement monitor. And that'd do.
Yeah.
Just buy it.
So I'm thinking about getting a monitor so I can go dual head.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got this docking station that's, not really doing much. It's just a USB hub at this point.
Yeah, but it's got an extra.
If we can try the graphics part out of it, that'd be good.
Yeah. I thoroughly recommend two monitors, because if you're watching something, online, you can leave Discord open in a full screen, and just drag the Discord window over, and just kind of done. I'll do that now. In fact, there you go. And it's just there. I really love having, the laptop next to the monitor, and just having like a second screen. So you've got a good screen. I mean, if my every connector known to man monitor was unscratched, that would be great. I've seen those sort of standard docking stations, and I've seen your one, but the actual docking stations for the laptops are also really good.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just not a huge fan of them for some reason.
I just really like. I mean, what's yours got? 4 USB ports? Is that 4 USB ports or is it 2 on the front?
5 for USB ports.
Yeah, I mean the one that
3 in the back, 2 in the front.
The one that I'm using for what I'm working with now, the Series 3 docking station has got 6 USB ports, DVI, VGA, and DisplayPort, which is just just a slightly different connector to HDMI, and then it's got Ethernet separated audio output, so you've got a microphone and a headphone jack, and like a few other bits, and a separate power connector. Because one of the things that goes on ThinkPads and has gone on the ThinkPad, the X230 that I've got, is the power connector is really loose. It still works, but it's loose, and it's replaced the power connector. And the headphone connector on my ThinkPad has also gone. So rather than take it to someone that I know, if I took it to a laptop repair place, they would look at me and do that sucking air through teeth and scratching their head and going, well, I don't know how I can get the parts, you know. In a kind of like, whatever it costs you, I will make you think it's worth it type way. And that pisses me off, you know, for basically 50p's worth of parts. And I'm prepared to pay someone an hour to solder those parts onto the motherboard when I know it'll only take
That's even if it
5 minutes.
requires me soldering.
Yeah.
It could be a ThinkPad FRU.
I mean,
you just take the bottom of the case off, pull it out, and get the new board in. Could be as simple as that.
Well, not even that, you know. I mean, it is directly. I've looked at the schematic. It is directly soldered onto the motherboard. It's just loose. You know, just over the years, it's become loose. But putting it into the docking station means I have a whole new power adapter that uses the same power port. You know, so just plug that in instead.
Yeah.
So for £7.50,
and you just go click and you're done.
Repaired the X230. Everything is replicated. Yeah. I've just put in a second power supply. It's worth it for that. Because I've just had that many accidents with it where I've kicked the power cable and it's just yanked the whole laptop off the coffee table. Like more times than I care to admit. I've done that so many times with this laptop, and it's like, well, fair enough, you know. But yeah, and I've got the other kind of slice, as in completely underneath docking station as well, that gives you an extra hard drive or optical drive, as well as 4 USB ports and the usual array of stuff. And that was only £8. And it was just like, fair enough, yeah. I'll get that, because it means you can plug in 2 external monitors, or into the thing, you know, and just click it into place when you get home. You can take the laptop with you. You can put like a 2 terabyte hard drive in instead of an optical drive in it for all your movies and all that sort of shit. So given that an X220 and an X230 have both got mSATA connections as well, so you can have a total of 3 hard drives on the one laptop. Just the expansion on it is just much better. Just good. Yeah, you know.
Yeah, I think I'm going to try and get the my ThinkPad running again properly.
They're just good machines. I mean, they don't do anything exciting, and they're boring as hell to look at.
No,
but it's like having, you know.
Oh, why? But
they're just so cheap.
Function over form.
Yeah. I mean, you can always decorate the lid if it really bothers you.
Yeah, I'll need to buy more stickers from somewhere.
Yeah, I found some really good white Punisher skulls. So I've got some plans for those. But I want to do the review of the X220 because I want to go on about how boring it looks. And I can't do that if I've already decorated it. So I'm saving the...
You could do it before and after.
Yeah, I'm just going to say, look, they're boring. They're boring to look at. But especially the X220 has got a nice keyboard. In fact, when I bought the X230, Andrew was going on about how, like, it's slightly better. You know, it's got better expandability, it's slightly faster, got a better processor. But apart from that, you know, it's your choice whether you want a better keyboard, in which case get an X220, or you want slightly higher maximum RAM, in which case get an X230. And I went for the X230. And I wouldn't have bought a 220, but it's just I saw it in cash converters. And apart from the Alienware gaming laptop, which was about £1,300, that was the only other laptop in the whole shop I wanted. And and I've got a 10% discount card for cash converters. So it was 69 quid on the shelf, and it came down to 63 quid. And I was just like, I'd be an idiot to buy it. You know, a whole laptop, like a currently functional laptop Because they do this weird thing at cache generators. They take out all the RAM except for 4 gig, which is ridiculous. I think they sell the RAM online separately. They just gut them for RAM because it's an extra 20 or 30 quid. So whenever you go into a cache generators, look, if you don't believe me, just look at the amount of memory on all the laptops, and in nearly every case, if they can get to it and take it out, it's down to 4 gig. But fortunately, because I've updated the X230 to 16 gig, I had the 8 gig left over. So I just took out the existing memory out of the X220 and put 2 4 gig SIMs in it. And just went, right, that's now 8 gig. And I bought the docking station. So I'm only about 80 quid into it, all told. The docking station was 9 quid, and I think the memory would have cost me about 15, 16 quid if I'd just bought another 4 gig. So it's 80 quid laptop.
80 quid for a pretty baller machine.
Yeah, it's dialed in, it does everything.
I mean,
I haven't, no, apart from
it won't run Cyberpunk 2077, but it'll do.
Oh, no, it's not going to run anything like that. I mean...
No.
But it is dual boot, so I can play Freelancer on it if I want. I'm just waiting to hear back from Ben, see if I can have his defunct... Well, Andrew and I have got a few mutual friends that like to live on the cutting edge of like the best possible laptop of all time. So when they are, every so often they'll go, oh yes, well, this is only a 3200 DPI monitor. I must go and get the next latest thing. I need a curved monitor now. You know, in a couple of years it will be triangular or hexagonal monitors, and everybody will have to get those. And I'm just going to wait it out. I'll just get another 22-inch monitor.
Yeah.
Great, you know, it's bigger than my
dirt cheap.
It's bigger than my first television as an adult. You know. And yeah, I don't need.
Yeah, I think I'm going to get a monitor at some point.
Yeah, I mean, you know, what have you got? You've got a desktop monitor, haven't you?
No.
All right, so you're using your laptop screen at the moment.
Yeah, just the screen, and that's it.
Yeah, man, get yourself down to cache generators. Get yourself a cheap. I mean, they're 8 quid. And I would say, oh, you could probably find out actually. I don't know where your nearest cache generator is.
Probably in Glasgow itself.
Yeah, it's not that big a thing.
It's like half-hour on the train. Although, to be honest, I think I just drive in and park up.